Welcome to the Disneyland Beat, where our toes tap to a Disneyland drum.
And we always whistle while we work.
The Disneyland Resort was buzzing with excitement this past weekend as the 100 Years of Wonder celebration kicked off. The parks looked wonderful, had more live entertainment going on than we had noticed in a while, had new shows, and even a new ride to debut.
In today's video, we have updates from the park with lots of information you're going to want for your February or March trip.
And we review the recent Disney 100 shows and rides that just opened. You won't want to miss it.
Come on into the parks with us.
Like, subscribe, and stick around.
Disneyland is your land.
Come seek an adventure into your pirates, eh?
Made the jump to life speed.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, I'm Amy.
And I'm TC. Well, starting out with the biggest edition of all, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway was a wonderful experience. We tried 4 times over 2 days to secure a boarding pass through the virtual queue, but they seemed to go in just a few seconds each time. Those happened at 7 a.m. and 1 p.m., by the way. Certainly many did have successes, as the standby line stretched up to a 215-minute wait at one point. We did end up purchasing a Lightning Lane, which are not selling out instantly, but rather within a few hours, so you got some time there. The Lightning Lane costs $20 a person, you have to be inside the park to buy it, and we were on the ride in just a few moments with it.
You have to have a boarding pass or Lightning Lane in order to be able to enter Mickey's Toontown at the moment, and the queue is starting out under the bridge. But a very cool thing is that much of it is accessible. While you're waiting in line, your kids can run around the newly refurbished corner of town.
We were excited to see some of our favorites were still there. The fireworks company, the phone, the interactive Toontown doors, the post office, and the fire station, they're all still there. And it looks like Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin is fairly untouched. At least the facade with Benny the Cab was still there.
Gone is the Roger Rabbit fountain, Jolly Trolley tracks, and storage house, and in their place is a large grassy area. Yes, it is artificial turf, but the open space is welcome, and it will likely become stroller storage, keeping them out of the center of the land.
The Gag Factory has been converted into standby queue space for the new ride, which seems to work really nice. Cafe Daisy and Good Boy Grocers do not have their signage yet, but City Hall and the town square is looking great, and they did have some restrooms open.
Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway is a lot of fun and a huge, classy addition to Toontown. The land will now boast 2 headlining attractions and 1 smaller one, lots of interactive walkthrough attractions, and permanent meet and greet areas.
The exterior of the El Capitan Theater looks fantastic. The whole land really has had an upgrade. And much like Mickey's house itself, the queue for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway feels like a museum that starts with Mickey's earliest works and moves forward through time, showcasing props from his many projects, eventually ending with posters for the Mickey Mouse shorts of today.
The new ride is basically a clone of the Hollywood Studios version with practically imperceptible differences, but it's a lot of fun for the whole family and has some thrills without being scary. It's a bit zany, just like the cartoon shorts are, and it will probably take a few ride-throughs to catch everything that's going on. There are 4 different vehicles that you might ride in, and each one has different timing and a slightly different experience.
To get to experience this ride and preview the new land was a lot of fun and well worth the 20 extra bucks we paid. But it would seem that having the Lightning Lane option is making the virtual queue that much harder to get. And good luck to all of you.
The Disney 100 celebration can be seen all over both parks in the new decorations, and we were impressed that Downtown Disney is already decorated for the celebration as well.
There are purple and silver banners, medallions, and more everywhere you look. And we think they're really striking. We absolutely love the new iridescent wrap on monorail blue that shimmers in the sunlight as it passes by.
At Disneyland, there's a statue of Mickey at Town Square and one of Minnie at the Hub that make great photo ops.
There's a new exhibit in the Disney Gallery showcasing the 100 Years of Wonder, focused on Disneyland and how it was influenced by the animated features. We have a video of the whole tour that you should check out. There are some one-of-a-kind historical renderings and figures to see.
Disneyland also debuted Wondrous Journeys, the new fireworks and projection show. The show is designed to run without fireworks and is sometimes scheduled to do so, which it'll be missing something when it does. It's simply one of the most impressive fireworks displays we have seen at Disneyland. Every firework seemed to do something special, like change color or shape, and there were lots of short-range fireworks shot off from the castle.
The show was better than we expected. If we're honest, we were not that impressed with the D23 presentation. Wondrous Journeys is emotionally engaging, it has some truly beautiful musical medleys, and it's visually stunning. You're not going to be disappointed with this one. And the interpretations of the show at the Rivers of America and It's a Small World are very good. It makes it so much easier to find a good viewing spot.
It's a love letter both to and from Walt Disney Animation, and it does manage to touch on every feature film the studio has created without it seeming like they're checking boxes off a list.
We caught the last rides on Haunted Mansion Holiday, which just now closed for its makeover into the classic Haunted Mansion. It will reopen February 10th, looking for that 1,000th soul who might join the group. It was odd the Christmas decorations were still hanging in New Orleans Square. 5 months of Christmas is enough already.
We also said our goodbyes to the French Market, which will close this coming February 17th to be made over into Tiana's Palace. Looking up at the building and rendering, one can see it's not going to take much to add in the Riverboat Wheelhouse and smokestacks. Hopefully it's not closed for long. Jambalaya Jazz was performing regular shows, and Captain Jack, Pirate Red, and the Bootstrappers were all touring the square.
Splash Mountain was still splashing away. There are rumors that the ride will close this coming May for its impending refurb, but there's no official word yet on when exactly that's going to happen.
Fantasmic is running on weekends during the winter season. The Royal Theater is running its fun versions of Tangled and Beauty and the Beast, and Tale of the Lion King is running at the Fantasyland Theater.
Usually it's around now that Valentine's Day decorations begin to show up, but there may not be quite as many this year in favor of the Disney 100 decorations. The after-hours event Sweethearts Night has also begun its run, though. Make sure you keep an eye on when that's happening, as Disneyland will close to regular guests at 9 p.m. those evenings.
We do know that the Lovers Celebration will include Minnie's Valentine's Surprise, a park-wide scavenger hunt that leads guests on a search for the secret Valentines Minnie has hidden for Mickey and friends.
The most noticeable construction currently in the park is in Adventureland around the closure of Indiana Jones Adventure. Disney has closed the west end of Adventureland entirely. You can't go all the way through, allowing access as far as the Bengal Barbecue. It did have Adventureland feeling kind of quiet, though, as the only ride to go on is Jungle Cruise. At the moment, you have to go through Frontierland to get to that area of the park.
The construction walls seem to encompass both the Indiana Jones attraction as well as the much-anticipated Adventureland treehouse. Perhaps the construction of the treehouse will affect the Indiana Jones queue in some way, or perhaps there are some actual significant changes happening to the Indiana Jones queue itself. We can't tell, but it does make us feel like the two might reopen at the same time. There's no official opening date, but it's expected to happen this year.
Every land seemed to have a lot of live entertainment going on. Mickey and pals were almost constantly out on Main Street in their new Disney 100 outfits, which look really sharp, as well as lots of other wandering characters on Main Street too. On a stroll through Galaxy's Edge, I saw Chewbacca, Rey, R2-D2, Kylo and his Stormtroopers, and Fantasyland always had lots of wandering characters about too.
The upcoming parade Magic Happens is in rehearsal again and will re-debut at the park February 24th. At the moment, the only parades are the Character Cavalcade and the Disneyland Band.
Other than that, we already mentioned there's not a lot of construction going on at Disneyland, or even additional refurbishments to report for February and March coming up that will affect your trip, and that's great news.
Over at Disney California Adventure, the decorations on Buena Vista Street look just as good. We like the long banners hanging on the Carthay Circle Tower, but there isn't as much evidence of the Disney 100 celebration throughout the rest of the park.
Right now, through February 15th, the Lunar New Year Festival is in full swing at Paradise Gardens, and many tasty bows abound all about. There's a food festival, Mulan's processional, live music, and interactive activities and decorations to enjoy. There's also a short World of Color show that includes fireworks, all celebrating the Year of the Rabbit.
Also, Raya is back at the Redwood Creek Challenge Trail. She's a great meet and greet that will teach you some cool power moves, and they have a food cart selling bows there too.
The new nighttime spectacular for DCA has debuted, World of Color 1. The new show takes full advantage of every available brush and color in their paint box. The lighting grid on the Incredicoaster, the lighting on the Pixar Pal-Around and surrounding towers, and the laser system, they all get much more use in this new show than in the previous version.
The show felt like an immersive Fantasia experience, which we loved. A lot less singing characters and a lot more abstract imagery and motion.
It may be that the cost of that approach is overall the show does not have the same level of emotional impact as its predecessor. An example of this might be on how they both treat The Lion King. The original World of Color focused on the death of Mufasa and Simba's reaction, while World of Color 1 shows an older Simba facing the spirit of his father in the sky. Both impactful, similar ideas even, but different.
World of Color 1 picks specific Disney works to focus on and pretty much gives each one a segment. Coco, Moana, The Lion King, Pocahontas, Soul, Ratatouille, Mulan, and Encanto all get their moment. We particularly like the Soul sequence. Jazz and the World of Color stage fountains mix really well.
And for the first time ever, Star Wars and all of the Avengers were included in the show. The Star Wars segment focuses on the story of Luke Skywalker, showing his life from a teen through the first 3 movies and into meeting and training Grogu even. But they close it with him meeting Rey. Kylo doesn't make an appearance. And the Avengers segment is really fun, but it's just flashy, display. It highlights different Marvel characters, but it's really fun that they're included and the audience seems to really love them.
World of Color 1 is a worthy successor and a fine show, but it didn't seem to fit the Disney 100 celebration as well as the other events. It didn't seem to even attempt to encompass the Disney story, but rather handpicked a few. And its composers don't seem as adept at creating medleys as those working on Wondrous Journeys are.
For some reason, it also made me feel that the original Wonderful World of Color will probably make a return appearance from time to time.
There are only a few rides down at DCA at the moment. Mickey's PhilharMagic is currently closed to get some new carpet installed in the theater. Grizzly River Run is down for annual maintenance, which means the water is drained and the waterfalls are not running. Even the back path around the backside of Grizzly Peak is closed. We don't have an official return date yet, but it will likely be early spring when it opens back up.
The Inside Out Emotional Whirlwind is closed for maintenance as well, but only for a short time, and it will return February 11th.
Coming soon at DCA is the Food and Wine Festival. It runs from March 3rd through April 25th, bringing new food booths, cooking competitions, classes, wine tastings, and extra entertainment offerings with it. It's a lot of fun.
One of our favorite features is that Soarin' Over the World will revert back into Soarin' Over California for the festival's duration. We love this version because of its actual filmed footage with staged actors rather than entirely CGI creations. Not to mention it has an amazing score. But truth is, they both probably need an update.
The weather at the parks has been fine. Looking at the monthly weather, most days will be sunny in the upper 60s for February with lows in the upper 40s and 50s, so bring a jacket. We can expect a few days of rain this month, but far fewer than there have been, and by the time we get to March, temps will reach into the 70s, so it's going to be a beautiful spring.
Driving through California, we saw a much greener state than we have seen since we can remember, and the horticulture at Disneyland has benefited as well. The trees are budding, and by mid-March, they're going to burst into full bloom. It's going to be a beautiful spring.
And one final thought, get those hotel reservations early. The buzz around the park is driving up prices, so trying to get a room near the opening of the rest of Toontown in early March is a very pricey proposition.
Well, we hope you're able to get to Disneyland soon. There are new experiences in Toontown to enjoy and old friends to say farewell to before they go. Oh, and we also heard there's a certain Earl of Sandwich pop-up shop that's already opened at the now-closed La Brea Bakery in downtown Disney, and that's a yummy thing.
May the light in the firehouse window always shine brightly, and may your dreams always come true.
See you real soon, Mouseketeers.